how to create a weird distorted line design such as this in Affinity Photo. I'm going to start out with a very basic design, a square. Go over to the tools and create a square. Very, very basic design. Hold down the shift and you've got fill, nothing in there, and a stroke. Set it to like 4 or 5, whatever you want. And also I'm going to use macros. The key panels for this go to layers, so view, studio, and you've got layers and macro. Macro is really useful for very quickly creating a nice sort of contour design. Record this. I'm just going to set the recording on and I'm going to go to a layer and I'm going to duplicate the current design. So I'm just going to quickly transform and it's going to be a very basic transform. Something like that. So what I can now do is I can quickly just apply it numerous times. So make certain you've selected the design, that one there, and just run through very quickly and you can create all kinds of different designs. You don't have to create this, maybe create a circular design, triangle, whatever. Now of course you can make it closer, wider, up to you. And now I'm just going to group it. Got all these over here and you can group it via the layers. Weirdly, and I don't know why, maybe there is a command, maybe you can tell me. Layers, there's no group option. You've got new group. New group doesn't do the same as far as I'm aware. But what you can do, you can right click and you can go group layers. So I've just grouped them all into that group. I like groups. You can move them around, you can rearrange things. It's just super useful. So what you can also do, because obviously this is nice, but you can duplicate that design so you can get a nice sort of clashing, and that's what I want. I want a nice sort of, you can obviously rotate the design so you can clash in slightly different ways. You can, up to you again, where you move this to, so you can have something like that, or maybe resize that a bit and then move that there, put it, or maybe 3 or 4. You can go too far and I think it'll just end up being black. However, once you've got that design, well, you can just group both those selected and you can then just go to a layer and you can then rasterize the whole design, or maybe merge visible. Merge visible is just as good. So merge visible and you've got a pixel layer there. You've got your design and I'm just going to remove the one at the back because I don't want those because that just confuses the issue, and you can remove that. And what you can do, you see, actually I've gone over the edge. Probably best to avoid. But it doesn't matter, when you've distorted it, you will not notice that. So now what you can do, you can go to filters. So let's go to filters and distort and deform. And I can just distort this design. Distort it in all kinds of different ways. And you can see what happens. It just sort of stretches out. And these are just by adding these handles to design. Now you can push it too far. Obviously it's never going to be perfect because it's going to slightly degrade as you get, obviously it gets bigger and bigger. So obviously they're quite thin lines there. You can distort it and distort that and just push that across there. And you can see you can create all kinds of sort of very weird, like Steve Ditko, nightmarish world, sort of Doctor Strange kind of designs. Sort of alien dimensions, those sort of things. So I've got that. And also, of course, you can always go similarity. Depends on, just try it out. So you can always select that and just apply that and you can create some maybe even more unusual distortions there. Well, I'm going to stop at this point because I could continue and obviously create all kinds of different distortions. So I've got that design there. What I want to do, I want to turn it into a pattern now. I'm going to quickly go over here to layer and then new pattern layer from selection. You can see it's been selected over there. So new pattern layer from selection, and you got that. Don't worry about the fact you've of course got 2 now. You can go up here to the top and there's mirror. So you can just select that. Once that's selected, also you can go over here and you can remove that. So I'm just going to quickly delete that and now the layer's gone. And you can see you move that around and you can see your distorted design. And you can rotate the design. You can share it. And of course you don't have to use deform. Of course you could have used other distortions such as mirror, etc. Maybe, you know, there's filters and you've got distort. There's a whole range of equations that's super useful as well. You can create some really amazing designs. Spherical, ripple, all of them can be used to create some very interesting designs with this black and white design here. And you can see what you can do. You can resize that and you can look at them. I mean, that's a pretty weird sort of alien-like dimension. What you can of course do is you can deform that if you wish. So you can just rasterize that. So I've got that design, make certain the layers selected there. And then you can go over to layer and you can rasterize this design. So it's all now just frozen. It's no longer a pattern. So it's no longer a pattern layer. You can't resize it. Only way you can do, undo. So now you can go over to filters and distort, and let's try some of the others, but I'm going to go with deform. And you can use similarity or rigid. I quite like both. I mean, I quite like rigid sometimes similarity. Simply just go there and click, and I'm just going to drag that around. And sometimes when you only got a few pins, it will just end up doing that, just sort of resizing, which is not so useful. But if you want to distort it, add 3, 4, 10 pins. I don't know if there's a limit. Does anyone know? Now again, there's always of course an issue, you stretch it too far and it will start to degrade a bit. You know, you can really but actually it makes a real nice job of it, I think, personally. I think it, considering. So you can distort it in many other ways using this. And then you can click apply. And of course, it's just a pixel layer. You can also go, if you want to, and I don't know what the result will be, you can go for layer menu and fade deform, and you can see you end up with a very odd design clash in there, which maybe is not what you want, but you can see you can just blend between the two if you want, or not. Just go with the original one. And you can combine the layers, do many more things as well. So, hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.